Hello and welcome to Sport Tonight. I'm Cecilia Mogbe in Lagos. And of course, Austin Okonagba will be joining me all the way from London.
On the show in London, I'm Austin Okonagba. Shout out to everyone joining us on the program. It's indeed a day of mourning right here in the United Kingdom after the passing of the Queen was announced. A statement from the royal family said she passed on peacefully.
Yeah, it's a sad one. I mean, the whole world is mourning from the Premier League, the world of sports. Everyone has actually been sending tribute to the Queen. Of course, we will be talking about that. And also, there is a new king. I mean, at 73, Prince, finally, King Charles. Okay, yeah, so we can call him king right now. Now you have a new king in England. There's a whole lot to talk about on the show, but then we're starting with what's currently going on in the UK. Austin, you're right there. What's the mood like? I mean, everyone, the feeling like right now, what's it like?
From the moment the statement came out that she was right there at Balmoral, it was already a quiet mood right here in the United Kingdom. Followers of the Queen and everything she has done in terms of uniting the country already found their way to the Buckingham Palace just to get stories of what's going on, how is she doing, until the statement came out that she passed on. She's been queen since she was 25. She has reigned for 70 years and has been a symbol of unity. Don't also forget that she loves sports so much. She's a big supporter of Arsenal Football Club. So the sporting community would definitely miss her. She's responsible for quite a lot of things that has happened in sports, particularly among the Commonwealth nations. Just then Birmingham at the last edition of the Commonwealth Games, she came up, as mentioned, somebody who has put together the country, someone who has promoted sports at different level. She's been a world unifier. About, I think, 15 prime ministers have passed through her.
Yes.
So at 96, you want to say she lived a life of details. She will be greatly missed. And of course, the country has shown that they will miss her. And that's why everyone is mourning right here in the United Kingdom.
Definitely at 96, I mean, the oldest serving monarch, being in the throne for 70 years. I mean, that's what she happens to be the Queen Elizabeth II happens to be the only monarch most people have known. And if you ask them who was the president before her, I mean, the queen or the king before her, you wouldn't even remember because of how long she actually served the United Kingdom. All right, I think we'll be looking at the different tributes coming from the different Premier League, starting with Arsenal, of course, Aston Villa, you have Manchester City and Chelsea, all the clubs across England sending tribute to the royal family following the death of Queen Elizabeth II. We'll just take a look at some of what they're saying, how, when you take a look at, the way these clubs actually, sending condolences to the royal family shows how shaken they are. It wasn't something they were expecting on a day like this, but it happens. But we'll see how we can actually bring you most of these tweets just talking about
going around the country, because I think 2 days ago she received the new Prime Minister, Liz Truss, and she looked healthy. She was doing just fine. She was smiling. She walked unaided, So, but that's life. Life is so fragile. And at 96, we can all agree that she has lived well. I use the term that she lived a life of details, and you could tell, from the reign that she has had. She has been there, done that. She has met presidents, sports stars. Pictures right there with hello sports star Serena Williams right there in the picture. So she's someone who has seen it all with life, But I think when they grow, when we have older people around us, particularly those with leadership qualities, it's like we should have them forever, but they're not going to live forever, sadly. So she'll be greatly missed. She's 96. She has enjoyed longevity. She's been on the throne. I'm just trying to imagine the number of Commonwealth Games touch that she had to, light up and was handed over to her, and then she passed on that legacy. I remember Prince Charles reading a statement right there in Birmingham. Was one that was centered around unity of purpose for the Commonwealth countries, for diplomatic achievements, and a whole lot that we can do using sports. You mentioned that tributes are pouring in, and you're right, Cecilia. Let's take a look at what the Premier League the saying about the passing of Queen Elizabeth II. They released a statement and then put out this tweet. So the Premier League is deeply saddened to hear the passing of Her Majesty the Queen Elizabeth II. Our thoughts and condolences are with the royal family and everyone around the world mourning the loss of Her Majesty. I think is a loss for the entire world because she was indeed a symbol of peace and unity, Cecilia.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, Arsenal, literally summarized it. Let's take a look at what other clubs are saying. Manchester City also tweeting and sending condolences. Okay, we take the one from Manchester United saying they share the sorrow of the entire nation following the announcement. Okay, Manchester City wishes to express its sincere condolences to the royal family following the passing of Her Majesty Queen Elizabeth II. Her Majesty's dedication and service has been exemplary, and we join our country and the Commonwealth in mourning her loss. This is coming from Manchester City club, just joining the whole world, talking about the demise of the Queen of England. And Manchester United said they shares the sorrow of the entire nation following the announcement from Buckingham Palace on the passing of Her Royal Highness, the Queen Elizabeth II, coming from Manchester United. So many clubs are sending in their condolences to the royal family following the death of Queen Elizabeth II.
And we all know that she loves Arsenal and the family to an extent, are big supporters of Arsenal Football Club. And so the club tweeted, "We are deeply saddened." And by the way, they've changed their logo. It has the black background now just to, show that they are mourning the Queen. So we are deeply saddened to hear of the passing of Her Majesty the Queen. Along with many of our supporters today, we will be taking time to mourn and reflect on Her Majesty's incredible life and devoted service. I think that sums it up. The life she lived. Yeah, and she was so devoted to the human cause. You can tell by the number of persons that, Cecilia, what beats me with her is how she keeps it going. Do you know that even as yesterday, she reads the entire state newspapers. She's so knowledgeable. She's so diverse. She knows virtually everything happening around the world. At 96. That's really commendable.
Yeah, she was active until the final moment. I mean, what a great woman she was. I believe the whole world is definitely going to miss her. There was never a dull moment with her, what she's done, what she's achieved, the difference, what she brought in, everything, the changes she made, and the fact that, harmony, peace, everything you can think of. The symbol of her, it's just... It's hard, to believe that someone, that you just saw, with the new prime minister, and then the next thing, the news are coming out that, oh, she's gone, and then you won't see her again. Well, I think she lived a very, very fulfilled life.
I think I understand why you struggle to, talk about it, because at 96, no doubt, it's a celebration of life. We should be talking about, maybe people shouldn't be mourning and all of that. But when you've got this sort of world relevance, there's no way the world will not miss you. And that's why if you check the statement coming from different clubs, everyone using the same word, deeply saddened, because this sort of person has got a lot of influence, and in a lot of ways she empowered women. If you look back and people talk about Queen Elizabeth II, she's a symbol of empowerment for the women race. And when you look at her, that she was just welcoming Liz Truss, and that in itself, Truss was looking forward to working with her and seeing ways that they can make the country better, and by extension, the Commonwealth regions. She'll definitely be missed. We missed out one club, and that's Chelsea Football Club. Let me just read their statement. And they said, Chelsea Football Club is deeply saddened to learn of the passing of Her Majesty Queen Elizabeth II. We join those mourning in the UK and across the world. We would like to send our condolences to the royal family and everyone affected by this very sad news. So you see, emphasis on deeply saddened. And I get where everybody's coming from. So the mourning continues around the country, but it is what it is. Life will go on. There's a new king, King Charles. I think it's King Charles the Third. Wait to see what his rulership will bring to the United Kingdom. But from us right here at Channel Sports, we just want to join everyone across the world to, mourn the Queen and say, may a gentle, sweet, loving soul rest in peace.
Amen. Of course, not just myself and Austin that will be talking alone. Bolu Omoni is right here in the studio joining us on the program. Bolu, you've heard we've been talking about this. Queen Elizabeth II. What do you really remember about her?
Well, luckily or thankfully, good to be here again, Cecilia. I've done a few researches about the royal family as a whole, from the Queen, but I don't think anyone who was alive during her coronation, I don't think a large chunk of them will be alive right now. 70 years ago, longest serving monarch, oldest monarch. Like you rightly said earlier on, I don't think any of us had seen any. We only know before Queen there was a king.
Yes.
Most can't even remember the name, and it's been Queen Elizabeth II, Queen this till now. I'm just trying to gather that okay, the next person is actually King Charles, not Prince Charles. Trying to mix between both, and we saw the Prime Minister. She found it difficult to put her words together, despite having a speech. I've listened to different news outlets. I've listened to the royal documentary persons and all, and they could not put their words together. It just shows impact. Austin said something earlier that we will all die at some point, but your impact. What did you do while you were alive? She will definitely have critics. It's a norm. If you are doing, the only person that don't have critics is the one doing the wrong things. If you are doing the right things, there will be critics. But everything she has done for the Commonwealth as a whole, so it's been huge from one impact to another. Still holding on to the history of the monarchy, because I know there are things they do this way. You can't change this, you can't change that. And she's still holding on to the history that has lasted for thousands of years. So all you just have to, like Austin said, is just celebration of life. Yeah. Immediately the news was announced, if you saw pictures from the Buckingham Palace, flowers were already there, thousands of people already outside. Believe me, by the end of the show today, they'll probably run into hundreds of thousands just to pay their last respect. I saw Queen Diana, Princess Diana, how much people loved and paid tribute. Believe me, Queen Elizabeth will be much more. So don't be shocked. There are questions that will there be Premier League games this weekend? Will they wear black armband, or the games will be cancelled? Believe me, if they cancel the games, I think Queen Elizabeth deserves it. Yeah,
I think so. Some events have been cancelled. The horse race, the cricket game, they've all been cancelled. And just the Manchester United game in the Europa League before they started, 1 minute silence was actually held in her honor. Yeah,
at halftime, they had to come back for a minute silence. It just shows impact.
Yeah. All right, so we're leaving that because we can actually spend the whole time talking about Queen Elizabeth on this show because of what she has done and what she has achieved while she was alive. Quickly, we touched down on the Diamond League. Just a few hours ago, yes, Tobi Amusan, of course, remember, yes, last time she won the Diamond League and everyone thought, yeah, it was a fluke. Of course, right now she has retained her title. And not just that, it was a meet record. Yes, a meet record. 12.29 seconds. Tobi Loba, you try to put words. Nigerian champion, African champion, world champion, Commonwealth Games champion. We're waiting for Paris 2020, but we can't wait, for her to add that Olympic medal to what she has achieved. In the space of these 2 years, last year when she won the Diamond League, we thought, okay, there's something coming in here. And then what happened? She not only missed the medal at the Olympics, of course, right now, setting another record that has stood for more than 22 years in Zurich just this evening. It was a star-studded field, but Tobi Loba, as usual, she had to be a shining star.
No, if you want to know how excited Nigerians are for Tobi Amusan, every time she wins anything, just go to Twitter. The only name that comes up is always Michael Johnson. Since the other day when he mentioned about the timing and everything, it just shows growth, it shows development, it shows coaching, and it shows huge improvement. Remember some 5-6 years ago, she was like, well, the world will know her very soon. She'll be a world champion. And now, Nigerian champion, African champion, Commonwealth champion, world champion.
Record holder, just take out the record, Diamond League,
everything
record, African,
falling in place. It just shows she's growing. And the funny thing is, she's still not there yet. It feels like despite everything she's achieved in a short period of time, she's still not there yet.
She's not,
so we're waiting for Paris.
It's so much. Austin, when, Austin, okay, you met her recently. Anytime you talk to Tobi Amusan, she'll tell you that there's so much more. There's so much in me. Just wait and see. And then we're seeing it, Austin. Great.
I don't know. Each time I speak to Tobi, I'm inspired because, Cecilia, I know this young lady.
Yes.
Just before she left for the United States of America in 2015, I remember that phone call I gave to her and we talked. And then I saw her at the Rio 2016 Olympics. Remember, she missed out of the final. Not just her, Ese Brume also. I was trying to do an interview with them, and they were so reluctant to talk to me. And I told Tobi, I know this is not the end. She said, no, that just don't worry, I will soon arrive.
Yes.
She was always speaking everything we're seeing now. She spoke it into existence. Went to Oregon, that Adidas wall, wrote it there, incoming world champion, and then broke the world record. She was always speaking it into existence. And look, what people don't know now that we're celebrating her, we are forgetting that she struggled.
Of course.
And it means don't quit. Yeah. Because she was consistent. She stayed committed to her dreams. And look at her today, getting better. Wasn't that just, I think 3 weeks ago when she lost to Camacho Queen, and everyone thought that, oh, that's it. We were waiting for this one. And she didn't just beat Camacho Queen, she gave us a meet record. What a story, Tobi Amusan. This consistency. I totally agree with you, Cecilia. She just needs to crown it up with a medal at the Olympics. I don't even care if to be bronze. She deserves to be on the podium. Because, look, remember I asked her, Cecilia, I said, were you under pressure at Oregon after breaking the record? In the semis, everyone will be looking at you. You can't break the record and then you don't win. And she said she got into the track, forgot about the record, and wanted to do something special. She did, but they said the wind didn't allow it count. But it's all good. We'll keep celebrating her. We love her so much, and I just pray that she keeps it going.
Yeah, we'll just put it into perspective. The time she clocked was 12.29 seconds. And not just that, American team just came second in 12.40 seconds, and Brittany Anderson of Jamaica ran 12.42 seconds to finish a third. So she literally dominated the field. Just take a look at the next person that finished before her. I mean, she had a time, to finish ahead. And it's a good one for Tobi Amusan. So right now, yeah, retaining her title. What a way to start. So let's leave track and field and, of course, go to us. How do we put it now? Games, not just games, administration, not just administration, talking about sporting facilities. Now, Navy, I mean, they've decided that every year they host their Navy games. And usually they use Tesla Balogun Stadium, they use different states. But this time around, they've decided to build their own facilities. So they're no longer going to be going to different venues. Yes, they will still go to Tesla Balogun Stadiums for some games. But right now, the numbers of games, events they will be taking part in, most of those games will be taking place right there in their own facilities. And early hours of today, the President, Muhammadu Buhari, was the one who actually declared the games open and also commissioned that new sports complex. Bolu, I mean, this is remarkable.
Well, it's huge. Every time I see things like this, it brings back the mindset of what sports cannot do, probably does not exist. Sport brings people together. It brings harmony. It brings unity. Ask many Nigerians, they will tell you one of the few times Nigerians are one. No tribal issues, no religious problems is when we are hosting different sporting activities. As much as people criticize Super Eagles, they are useless, they are this and that. When the Super Eagles are playing, Nigerians will still watch. So it shows the power of sport. Now they have their own facility. It means one thing. We may even have the next best athletes for the country from the naval officers. Continuous training, continuous sporting activity, even helps them with costs. If they were renting a facility before, now at least the money for rented, you probably go to something else. So we can't wait for the 12th edition of the Navy Games to kick off. It has kicked off already. People are already competing. And let's see our naval officers, not just on the field getting into actions, now getting into actions for sports.
Yeah, getting into action for sport. Let's listen to the president of the nation before we get Austin talking. Listen to President Muhammadu Buhari declaring the Navy Games open and also commending them for what they've been able to do, for sports.
This occasion also showcases the investment undertaken by the Nigerian Navy in sports development. The construction of this sports complex has provided a standard venue for the Nigerian Navy to host major games, as well as appropriate venue for naval personnel within Lagos to use for training and other recreational purposes. I am therefore confident that besides the conduct of the games, the Nigerian Navy and its personnel will continue to make good use of the facilities in this complex. I am also sure that the Games will provide the needed platform and avenue for the discovery of new talents who will go on to represent the Nigerian Navy and Nigeria in international competitions. Therefore, all participating athletes should inculcate fair play and exhibit high level of decorum during the games. I note that all commands in the Nigerian Navy are participating in the games. This means that the Nigerian Navy can take stock of the level of preparedness of its personnel while encouraging the development of team spirit among its personnel. The games should therefore provide a glimpse of what Nigerians expect from the Nigerian Navy: dedication, commitment, unity, oneness, and comradeship. Let me assure you that the federal government will continue to encourage sporting activities in view of its importance towards national cohesiveness and unity.
So there you have it, President Muhammadu Buhari declaring open the 12th Nigerian Navy Games. I saw the president looking all fit, you know. I saw him in that sporting outfit. I was like, oh, you can even take the president to be an athlete. He said a lot of good things that we can do with sports. Lately, the president has been highlighting the benefits of a sporting nation, and Nigeria, so blessed with talent, is the country that can actually, you know, make good use of it. So the president is reminding us that we can do more with sports, particularly with the military, because they are fit. These guys, even back in the day, the Navy, Army, Air Force, and to an extent the police produced world champions for Nigeria. So it's good to see that they're investing in facilities. The president mentioned that they should put it to good use. Let me add that we must, as a matter of fact, maintain those facilities. Maintenance, very, very important. I saw the swimming pool looking all good. In 2 years' time, it should be looking that way. In 5 years' time, it should be better. So shout out to the Nigerian Navy for putting together this one. It will promote a good sporting culture. It will promote unity, bonding. Sports has got so much values that we can use, particularly our military. Let's listen to the Chief of Navy Naval Staff, Vice Admiral Wow Gambo, is also commenting as regards the 12th Nigerian Navy Games.
The Nigerian Navy has recorded significant appearances at local and international competitions. Notably, the Nigerian Navy volleyball team, named the Chief of the Naval Staff Spikers, registered its arrival into the Nigerian Navy volleyball circle in March this year by dominating the male category in the championship organized in Kontagora, Niger State by the Volleyball Federation of Nigeria. Out of 37 volleyball teams, made up of 21 male and 16 female teams, the Chief of Naval Staff male Spikers had an unbeaten record and won the championship, while the female team won the silver medal for female category. Thank you. These outstanding performances positioned the teams and earned the female team a slot to represent the country at the African Women Volleyball Championship, Tunisia, in May this year, where they displayed exemplary skills worthy of emulation. This is the first time after 38 years a military team represented Nigeria at an international competition. I am optimistic that more talented personnel will emerge from these games that will make the Nigerian Navy and the nation proud in future national and international competitions. While anticipating brilliant performances, let me encourage all participants to exhibit fair play and healthy rivalry as you compete for medals.
Over the next few days, more than 1,800 naval sports persons and officials will take part in several events across multiple venues, competing for laurels to the glory of the 2022 Nigerian Navy Games. I therefore want to charge all participants to bring to this event the full spirit of sportsmanship and fair play. And I congratulate all the would-be winners. Indeed, even just as you take part and putting in your very best, every participant, in our view, is already a winner. The commitment of the Nigerian Navy and the Nigerian military as a whole to the progression and development of sports is inspiring, is encouraging, and is commendable. We all have a lot to learn from them.
Lagos State Governor Babajide Sanwo-Olu, and I totally agree with him. We have so much to learn from not just the Nigerian Navy, but the military. And Bolu, I'm sure you'd agree also, the military, the paramilitary, they've given this country, Nigeria, so much sporting moments. Chioma Ajunwa, for instance, Nigeria's first individual gold medalist from the Olympics, is a police officer. God bless his soul, Sunday Bada, police officer. Samuel Okon Peter, we can go on and on and on and on. And the Chief of Naval Staff just talked about what they did with volleyball recently. We can do more as a country, particularly using the military, that we know that they have personnel that are fit, strong, and can also be reliable.
I think I agree 100% with both you and the I hope I don't fall in name. Saying the growth of sports in the country can also come from the military, because at least I was at one of the barracks recently and I saw their sports facility here in Lagos. Oh, you guys have something this great. So one thing is certain, fitness is not their problem. Yes. Nah, they are fitter than many athletes because it's part of their own daily lives. Then channeling that strength, channeling the fitness into sport. And like what you also attested to that, in May is just a few months ago, they had team at the women to represent Nigeria at the women's volleyball. I don't mind if all our national teams will come from the military, so long they are good enough. It will just bring a huge challenge. Imagine having some clubs in Nigeria, having players from the Nigerian military or Navy or even the Nigerian police. Many Nigerians don't even know Chioma Ajunwa is a police officer. Many if you hear the name Chioma Ajunwa, the only thing you remember is, oh, Nigeria's first individual gold medalist. You won't even know she's a police officer. And we have some of them that have done it before and even after. So this is a great development. And this is the 12th edition, in case people don't know. Yeah. They've done 1 to 10 successfully. Now they have their own facility. It means even without the games, proper training would continue. Obviously. Without the games, they should continue doing maybe inter-group, because definitely they have their own cadets and all competitions in-house. You never can tell. It means one thing. If I'm a scout in a different sport, even in football, I can just troll in one of these days. If I see a talent that is young enough and is good enough, they tell you in sports, if you are good enough, you are old enough. So who knows? Maybe the next African best can come from the Navy Games.
It's possible, right? All right, let's quickly move on to women's football. Yes, the pre-season tournament, the Betsy Obaseki football tournament, is taking place in Benin City, Edo State. Last year they started with it, and last year's theme was all about, child trafficking, preventing it. And this year there's another theme for it, which is drug abuse. I mean, that's what the theme is. So what they're trying to do with this is not just about playing football, but at every edition they're hosting, they ensure that, yes, the social values are actually added to it, to ensure that not just playing football, but also understand the basic things you need to understand as a person, as a human being, that will help you to develop in all aspects. Let's listen to the facilitator of this event, the wife of the governor of Edo State, Betsy Obaseki, talking about the reason behind them actually choosing that drug abuse for the theme of this year's event.
This year's theme is Say No to Drugs. We all know that it's a huge problem in our country, because that training with the NDLA was a real eye-opener. It is such, it's endemic, it's become a pandemic, and it's destroying and ruining so many lives, across board. You have children in primary schools doing drugs, for goodness sake. And you've got married women doing drugs, not single girls, women comfortably married in their homes with children and husbands, actively doing drugs. It's a big problem, and it's something that we all need to take seriously and begin to get more awareness about, because you just might have a drug user in your home that you're not aware of, because you haven't been sensitized and you're not exposed to the menace.
All right, Abi, she has actually said a whole lot concerning what this year's event is all about. But then we will be taking a look at the group. Yes, games have started. The games that were played today, you have FC Robo beating Braveheart 9-0. But then you have the way its team will definitely, in different group. Group A, you have Nasarawa Masons and Braveheart Ladies, FC Robo, and also Confluence Queens. The earlier games that was played today, FC Robo beating Braveheart by 9-0. Edo Queens, Royal Toms International, and of course, Royal Queens are in Group B. Then you move over to Group C, where you have Niger Ratters, Sunshine Queens, and Fortress Ladies. Another group is the Group D. You have Delta Queens, Oshun Babes, and Heartland Queens. You have about 12 teams taking part in this year's event, 3 in each group. As mentioned earlier, Niger Rattles and Confluence Queen, their game ended 1-0 in favor of Confluence Queens. Of course, FC Robo and Braveheart, it was FC Robo beating Braveheart by 9-0. Now, Austin, the chairperson of the Nigerian Women's Football League, also is talking about this particular event, how it's going to actually help the clubs to prepare for the new season that is starting this month.
I love it. I love what we're doing with the Betsy Obaseki Women's Football Tournament. And you see, Cecilia, the First Lady of Edo State, just highlighted everything I've been talking about. The things you win before you get into the pitch. Yeah. This is sports in action. She's using sports to promote social change in the society. They've not kicked a football. They already know that they want to use the tournament to say no to drugs. And she mentioned that we think it's just about sportsmen and women. No, that this drug is a menace to the society. She mentioned that even married women, mothers, are exposed to this, and they're using it to say, look, it goes beyond playing football. Let's use it to create awareness. Sports as a tool for social change. And this is what we keep talking about. And to an extent, Aisha Falode and her team, they've done well with using football to empower the girl child in Nigeria. I love that this tournament has come now to consolidate on that effort, and it's win-win for women's football in Nigeria. Let's listen to Aisha Falode. She's also talking about the Betsy Obaseki football tournament.
1 year after, the tournament has taken on a life of its own. It has taken on its own identity, an identity that is so loud that top women football clubs are beginning to look ahead to the calendar of participating in the Betsy Obaseki Women Football Tournament. We are very proud to say that we are partners of the Betsy Obaseki Women Football Tournament. It has become the only credible, sustainable, impactful pre-season tournament that we have for women football in Nigeria. I am proud to also say that football is beyond kicking a ball around the field. A football that is tied with a social message, a football that is tied with a message for social impact, a football that is tied with a message of social good is much more endearing to the people of the immediate community and the world than just kicking about football on the field.
Yes, that's what it is all about, social change, and also allowing the girls to play football, prepare for the new season, and also learn some basic values of life. Drug abuse, the First Lady put it so well concerning what is going on. And this is the reason why they're having this theme this year, to try and curb it in schools and everywhere across the state and also across the country, because you have clubs from across the country taking part in the Betsy Obaseki Women's Football Tournament. We leave that. The opening ceremony, yes, was done today. Don't worry, tomorrow we'll definitely bring you more updates from Edo State. All right, we quickly talk about Chelsea. Yes, Potter Graham. Okay, the question I'm going to ask these two guys is, where is Chelsea actually going this time around? You're going from Thomas Tuchel to Graham, and if you check the winning ratio, I don't understand. They're talking about aggressive football, you know, fantastic football, but what happens to winning and results?
Well, like I said to some guys just a few hours before we came on, I don't think they got Graham Potter for what he had done all through his career.
Okay.
I don't think they got him for his entire Premier League record. I think it's more of his recent success in quotes for what he has done with Brighton. Because last season, Brighton had
7 games into the season.
Exactly. Brighton had their biggest Premier League finish last season, finishing 9th. And this season, they're even above Chelsea. So I think it's more like, okay, let's see what you can do with your performance game style at Chelsea.
Let's take a look at the record right now. I mean, what did Graham Potter? I mean, coaching license, of course, UEFA Pro license. If you don't have that, you can't even coach in England. So, which is usual. 47. Thomas Tuchel is just 2 years older than him. He's 49. Premier League records. Now, take a look at this. 120 matches, draws 44, losses 42. Goals for 133, goals against 147. Okay, now, Swedish Cup. Come on, that's the only thing you can actually... You mentioned it, he's not here. He wasn't appointed for the result, but he was appointed because of the kind of football he's playing and what he has done with Brighton. But we just have how many games into the season. Maybe that's the reason. Austin, maybe he's going to maybe add something, because I don't think this is the man for the job. I don't think so, because Chelsea is bigger than Graham Potter.
Yeah, but, you know, he said that getting the Chelsea job might just, you know, be good motivation for his career. Bolu mentioned the things he has done for Brighton. It's flattering, you know, that after 6 games, Brighton, they are 4th on the log. But you struggle to understand what Chelsea wants. How can you let go of a manager that has won 3 major trophies in 20 months? It's very difficult to understand, but when we know that coaches are hired to be fired, this is just clear ownership ego. The owner just wants to show that he's in charge, and he can tell Thomas Tuchel, goodbye, we're not comfortable with what you're doing. The man just signed this guy, Aubameyang. You should have just waited to see what he can do. The Champions League is a very tricky tournament. Anybody can lose. In the Champions League, Real Madrid lost to a lowly rated FC Sheriff at the Bernabeu. At that time, they did not change the coach. You know what I'm saying? So it's just ownership ego. He just wanted to prove control. Maybe we're not talking about him enough in the media, and he wants us to know that he's in charge. And the best way is to tell Thomas Tuchel to leave. But with Graham Potter, it can work for or against him. I looked at him, and I was just seeing Nuno Espirito Santos. Cecilia Mbolu, can you guys remember him? He did so well at Wolves. Instead of him to just stay there, consolidate, Tottenham said, come.
Yeah.
And I think under 10 matches, he was shown the way out. Okay. I was telling someone today that I won't be surprised if Graham doesn't stay in Chelsea till December. You know, but it can just turn around. The club sounds bigger than him, but hey, you never know. It's a big team. The players might just like him. He's also young. He's got a good philosophy for attacking and chucking up the midfield. So Chelsea might just turn out to look good under Graham Potter. We'll see.
Yeah, he's got some games coming up starting from September 10th. He will be playing against Fulham. Yes, this is going to be banana skin. Yeah, okay, banana peel, just a good one for him. Good way to start. But then the Champions League, after losing their opening game, Salzburg is going to be next for them. Can they get something out of this one? Of course, Liverpool, September 18th. This is where the real test will come. And after that, they will have to play Crystal Palace. And, of course, AC Milan is also coming. So he's got good tests against Liverpool and against AC Milan. Maybe that's when he will be judged. Remember, he's got a 5-year contract. Yep. £255.3 million were spent. 8 players brought in. And, of course, he's got the players. The money was spent. Then he'll have to handle Chelsea to see if he's going to continue with this. But that 5 years really lasts for 5 years. Well,
with the new owner, maybe not. All British men in charge, so maybe it could be different. Like what Austin said, probably Tobi just wanted to make a stake that, well, I'm the boss. Okay. I don't think Chelsea have done well from the start of the season, but before I start judging how a team outcome would be, I always wait till match day 10 to 15. Then you can start knowing how teams will shape up. But these games look easy on paper, but they are not easy games for Graham Potter to start with. So Fulham is a London derby game, and the way Fulham have started, we all know Mitrovic. First 10 games, he can score all through. He's in great form. RB Salzburg are young and energetic against the aged Chelsea defense. That could be a problem. Liverpool are struggling. They need to wake up as well. We don't know if it will be the game against Chelsea or not. Crystal Palace is a London derby, and the game against Milan, the defending champions of Serie A. So these first 5 games, like Austin said, December may be even too far. Because if he ends up not winning any of these games, it could spell doom. You never can tell, because I still think it's too early to let go of Tuchel. I don't rate Tuchel as much as many people do, but I still think it's very early. Just 5-6 games into the season, sometimes you just need to. Man City at the start of last season or 2 years ago were not even winning, but they picked themselves up 2 years ago. They won the title. Last season, I think they lost their opening game or drew against Spurs. They ended up winning the title. So maybe they could have been a bit patient, but now they brought in another Englishman. This could spell doom or the change of Graham Potter's career. If he does well for Chelsea, even if he doesn't win, if their play style changes and maybe still end up making tough and all, the press could be in favor of him. But if he starts on a poor note, that's the job of the media. They'll probably wreck him just like they did for Thomas Tuchel.
Let's see, 5 games. Austin said December is just too far for him. We'll wait and see, fingers crossed, to see how long he will last. 5 years deal. It's a great one. Now let's talk about Europa League. Of course, Arsenal, Manchester United are the clubs from England that are in action. We'll be talking about them. For Arsenal, they played a very, very early game. They won 2-1. These games have ended. You have a PSV Eindhoven and a Glimt. That game ended 1-0. Rennes and Larnaca, it was 2-1 in favor of Rennes, and Fenerbahce and Dynamo Kyiv, it was 2-1 in favor of Dynamo Kyiv. For Helsinki and Real Betis, 2-0. Roman losing. Ludogorets, okay. Not a good one for Jose Mourinho. Malmo and Braga. Braga winning by 2-0. Union Berlin and Union Gilles, it was 1-0. Union Berlin losing by a lone goal. These are results coming from the Europa League. Of course, United is still in action before the show ends. We'll be able to bring you the full-time result of
They're having a goal down already.
A goal down already. Penalty. So not looking good for Manchester United. Okay, let's see. Maybe their winning run will be halted right now. They've been on a very, very good run. But for Arsenal, of course, a good way to bounce back from that 3-1 defeat against United, ending their, perfect 5-5 perfect start to the season. Just bouncing back, being able to get all 3 points. That's crucial for you to start winning early.
Yeah. Remember Saliba when he scored an own goal in the Premier League and he ended up scoring a late winner in that game? Same thing happened to Nketiah today. He caused the penalty to help them equalize against Arsenal. They ended up scoring the winning goal. So it was more of a switch between himself and Marquinhos. Assisted Marquinhos for the first goal, then Marquinhos assisted him for the second goal. I'm always scared when my strikers want to make tackles in the box. Most of the time, it always spells them. But one thing I said was how Arsenal will recover and bounce back from that loss will be very, very key for them. And a good win in the Europa League, I think it's a good one for them. Now they'll focus back to the Premier League and try to recover from that loss and maybe get back to winning. But for United, it is third minute now. They go down via a penalty. Sadiq Kumar started the game. He's done so well. Threatening them almost all through the halftime. Yes. So it's what the European competition will do. Like Austin said earlier about the Champions League. This competition, sometimes the teams you call useless in quotes can score one goal and it will, look at Chelsea against Dinamo Zagreb. Just one goal, and that was how the game ended. So football
13th minute.
Yeah, football can surprise you sometimes. I still remember the day Ronaldo scored an own goal for Madrid in the 2nd minute. The game ended 1-0. So some teams can just... That's when you see a goalkeeper in the form of his life. Yeah. Defend anything, save any possible. He can constantly for the next game, but just for that one, make all possible saves. So let's see if United can, but good win for Arsenal. They needed that win and they got it. But Roma, remember last season in the Conference League, lost to Bodo Glimt. Now they started the Europa League with a loss against
With a loss again, and they ended up what? Winning it.
Ended up winning that. So maybe deja vu.
Might just happen this time. Too early to call, Austin.
We're previewing the Europa League last week, and I was telling Yemi and Omar Katuba that it's too early for us to just say because it's Arsenal, Manchester United, or Roma, then they're going to have a free ride. No, I knew it was going to be difficult for Manchester United against Real Sociedad, and they're on the verge of losing that one. The game is in its 85th minute now, and there's still a goal down. Arsenal needed to do just the bare minimum to win that one. They had to dig deep, and they won it, Bolu just talked about the Bodo Glimt and then Roma issue. look, with football, anything can happen. So when teams have an opportunity to step out, they just want to give their best. But with this Europa League, I'm sure we're going to see loads of drama. We saw drama in the UEFA Champions League last night. I'm sure you remember what happened between FC Porto and Atletico Madrid. That's football. The entire game happened from the 90th minute. So it's not over until it is over. But that's the situation. It's still Manchester United 0, Real Sociedad 1, and it might just end that way.
Interesting. We'll leave Europa League and quickly move over to tennis. Yes, I mean, it's almost time now. The semi-finals all set. And, of course, Ons Jabeur, yes, she's still there. Favorite to win it. Iga Swiatek won #1. Yes, she's still there. Favorite to win it. Pegula also there. And, of course, for the men, is a tough call. Francis Tiafoe, Austin wanted Nick Kyrgios. Nick is already out. Okay, it's so unpredictable. Francis Tiafoe, of course, you see the Cinderella story continue. He is in the semi-finals. He will be up against a 19-year-old who could become world #1 if he gets to win the US Open. That would be a fantastic story. But most people are actually rooting for Francis Tiafoe because migrated from Sierra Leone to the US and they had a humble beginning. And right now he's at Otherwash, where he's actually he's a rave of the moment. So tonight he'll be playing against Ankara. That's the game we'll be looking forward to tonight.
Well, if he was playing someone else, maybe I would have. I think I followed Ankara's story, so I think I like him from moving from the next gen. It just shows what developmental competitions can do. Alcaraz is here, like you rightly said, he may be the world #1 if he ends up winning. It reminds me of the story of Rafa Nadal as well, how he grew steadily, and now he's the highest Grand Slam winner. But again, a bit of bias for Tiafoe because he stopped Nadal, so it's more like rooting for either of these two guys.
You don't beat Nadal and not get to win.
That's another point. So it's more of whoever wins between these two guys may end up winning that, but you still can't forget Casper Ruud on the other hand. So I think Casper Ruud should do enough against Karen Khachanov. So my heart goes for either Francis Tiafoe or Alcaraz. Whoever picks the day in the semi-final for them, I think I'll dub my heart for them.
Ons Jabeur and Ons Jabeur up against Carolina Garcia. Carolina Garcia is playing her best tennis, Austin. I mean, our African sister actually need to win this. Wimbledon, yes, she got to the final, but this is your...
I was speaking with you, and I don't know if that was biased, but I was saying that Ons Jabeur, if she makes it to the final, she deserves to win something because the bookmakers were expecting her to win Wimbledon, and then she lost down to Elena in the final. So if she makes it to the final at the US Open, then that's good consistency. It means she's got a second chance at the title, So whatever happens, she deserves some commendation because she has shown that she can be consistent. But with Iga Swiatek still in the mix, then it's difficult unless she doesn't advance to the final. The consistency of Swiatek and how she just goes about her business if she gets to the final. So she's still a big threat. For the men, I truly wanted Nick Kyrgios to go all the way because I feel when you get to the final, you're seeing some level of success. It impacts on your character. Yes, you could tell he was so mad losing to Khachanov. So 2 rackets suffered for it, Cecilia.
So Austin, right? We gotta go. Time is up.
We gotta go. So that's the show. Thank you so much for doing this with us. In London, I'm Austin Okonakpan, and everything you do, remember, let's keep talking sports. Bye for now.
Bolu, thank you so much for coming on the program.
It's always a pleasure being around again. I think I'll go for Ons Jabeur. If you guys Swiatek, I love you, but you for now.
Ons Jabeur, Francis Tiafoe, thank you so much for watching. I'm Cecilia Amogbe. Have a good night rest.